What's going on, y'all? We got an interesting video here to talk about, and that includes Xbox Game Pass, Netflix subscriptions, and gaming subscriptions in general, and how you can see some type of monopoly going on here. This is a separate video I wanted to do, and how Netflix considered buying EA and Disney. So what do I really mean by including Game Pass in here? Well, here's the thing. Microsoft wanted what Netflix had as far as subscription success. That's what they were kind of shooting for originally. Netflix has the base that Microsoft wants, and Microsoft has some of the IPs and a setup of games where people would like in that way that Netflix kind of wants. And we see they're kind of building a certain type of world in the gaming industry to monopolize against whoever else. And like I told you before, I'd rather them win than Paramount, because Paramount, what type of success do they have? They're incapable. You know what I mean? Like, and what I mean by that is that nobody goes on Paramount when they wake up. Nobody thinks about that. When you think about the last 5 to 7 years of what you watched as far as TV shows, movie content, and just originals, Netflix originals destroys everything. It's clearly better. They're clearly capable of saying that we started from zero and we got all the way up to 200 something million because we were this good. That's one thing I like about them. They're capable of being successful. Now, there's some funny stuff that I've read about them, which I can kind of find funny. Netflix has had enough cash to buy Warner Bros. But cried poor when we shared passwords with our mom. So here's the thing with this type of industry. The fact that they allowed you to do that was actually cool. And one thing that I want to say about this is that this is not something that is new. Sony allowed you during the PS3 era to share a whole bunch of stuff, remember? But over time, you know how ridiculous that gets, right? You know, Spotify and all of them, and then, you know, they cut it down because they spent so much money on investments. Netflix was actually in debt for a while. They had to get up to over 100 plus million and get to the 200 million and start making a whole bunch of money after that. And by cutting that down, they made more profit. But could they allowed you to share at least one account? Yeah, that would have been nice. Because you are allowed to do that, but they still charge you. So yeah, that's definitely not the most pro-consumer thing, but they delivered the quality and the content to where you can go on there and be good for a long time. They're giving you so much content and quality that if you wanted to get Blu-rays or buy those episodes of TV shows like people try to sell it to you, I mean, you're getting a significant amount of quality there. And it is worth it, the price, for just one little month. You think of, that's what I said, where you think Game Pass came from? It came from that idea, just like that. Sony have PlayStation now, but it wasn't successful. Netflix made it successful. They were the ones that did that subscription model. But obviously, what does that do? That kills Hollywood. Is that a bad thing? No. Movie theaters, like I said before in one of my tweets, I don't want to waste gas and go to the movie theaters today to spend money on mediocre content, because it is tanked significantly. You guys know this. If you were alive like I was in the 90s and the early 2000s, and you saw the quality of the theaters, even in the late 80s, it was significantly better than what it was now. So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, we're going to put somebody in theaters. Shut up. Yeah, you weren't doing anything anyways. Marvel was carrying it for the longest. And you have some good movies come here every once in a while, but they charge you a fortune for food. They charge you out the ass for candy, and they overcharge for tickets now. You'll be spending $100 something just to go see one. Whereas on Netflix, you can have tons of quality like that all over, and the whole family can watch it for one subscription fee. I mean, it's a no-brainer. That's why the majority of the world does that, and movie theaters are dying. Just the way things work. Just like Hollywood is dying with their movies. That stuff is not working anymore. It's just not there. You know what I mean? The quality is tanked. So Netflix is better than all of them, regardless of what people want to say about that. And I do understand what you mean by, you know, they were talking about that. But to say that they're insanely greedy, I mean, that's all they have is a subscription. They're not charging you for anything else. But obviously the monopoly upon the subscription market is there. But aren't they top dogs and they made that industry successful? Yes. So I would rather somebody who I know that can be successful with intellectual identities, if you get what I mean by their originals, have it than Paramount. What does Paramount have? Guys, if we go and even like look at Paramount subs versus Netflix, right? And then you think about Paramount, like what do you know what I mean? What do you want to do? 300 million. They have 75 million, but you want to know what? They're tied into Amazon. You know what I mean? And the market share that Netflix has is significantly better. Not because they monopolized, no, because they're really that good. People were working with them. Their content was that good. Honestly, I just don't see why I would want Paramount to win this. I don't trust them either. They have too many third-party sources that it just seems shady. And it's like, well, what's with all this? You know what I mean? It's not worth it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say kind of like about that. So let's get back to the other thing. All right, as far as buying EA and Disney, that's very interesting. Because obviously Saudi Arabia, same type of people that kind of wanted to do the backing to get Warner Brothers with Paramount is kind of was included in that, and Disney, who I mean, whatever the state of Disney right now, guys. Oh boy, I would still rather have Netflix have those IPs than Paramount, who I think has different hidden motives that are non-gaming related. I want stuff to stay in the American territory. So Netflix getting EA and Disney would mean they would have more video game IPs put on a subscription model. But if we're going to complain about that, and definitely people who support Microsoft a lot, I'm going to say you're a major hypocrite because everybody was all for pushing Game Pass, though it never came even close to have Netflix numbers. Though Game Pass for Microsoft, they want that to have Netflix success. So why would you try to complain about Netflix putting stuff on subscriptions when everybody plays Game Pass all day? That's hypocritical. Yeah, I'm not going for that nonsense. That's some double standard bull crap. And trying to act like Netflix is some horrible entity when Microsoft is significantly worse than them and $1 trillion corporation and jacks up the price on multiple things outside of their subscription and has their subscription higher than Netflix. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I don't want to hear that crap. That's a load of bull crap, and I'm calling it out. I see all this stuff online. I'm like, man, please get out of here. So if Netflix had the category that Microsoft had, you'd be having a subscription model plus the better in-house that they've shown that they're capable of doing and working with people the right way, not driving people away, but getting up to 300 million install base because their quality is that good. Why is that a bad thing? Is movie quality that good? No, nobody's going to be going to the movies like that. It's only for one movie every once in a while. So that's my thing, what I have to say when it comes to that. Now the competition between Game Pass and Netflix definitely could be a thing in the future because they're not going to be having IPs there. That is a part of their service. So now you have a video game service along with the movie and TV service and also anime and all that. They've improved in that department and they've shown that they're capable of bringing people success while doing it. Microsoft has not done that. People are going in debt and all that. I just have to say it. That's the difference here. This is a much more successful subscription model by a mile and everybody knows it. So I do not have a problem with that because what is Warner Brothers doing with their IPs anyway? They've killed everything. Batman sucks. You know what I mean? Batman movies are not all that. Harry Potter's are amazing, yeah, but you know what I mean? They're not doing anything with it. And Suicide Squad is absolutely garbage. They destroyed the last Mortal Kombat. It's not doing well. They're not in a good spot. So, and there's other things going on too. I'm not getting into politics, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So they're kind of in a situation, kind of like Activision is, right? So it's kind of like a similar deal. And I was cheering for that Activision deal because I was hoping that Microsoft would do something better with it. I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt, but they didn't end up doing that. So yeah, that sucks. But Netflix, I know they will do a good job with it because they've proven it by their history and by how they have growth and success. So if people want to complain about their subscription model, I don't know what to say. Like, obviously the price is going to go up. That's going to suck. I don't want that. Definitely for people who are not interested in those IPs, they're probably going to have. I have to say that that's definitely not something that I think is going to be for everybody compared to, no, I get on Netflix because I really want to watch movies and TV shows, and that's what I'm interested in. So I have to pay more money for something that I don't want to use. That's really annoying. I can understand that. Unless they really say, hey, we're getting some more video games. Now we got a ton over here. There's some people that are watching us, you know what I mean? They sit there, definitely the older types or people that are kind of in that world, they don't play video games. So I know the majority of the world does, but some people just watch and they get on Netflix for that. And they may not have time to do that. So they just want to watch an episode, maybe with their lady friend or maybe alone with themselves or vice versa or with friends, you know? So yeah, I think that that can definitely be a thing when it comes to Game Pass versus Netflix if they get more games. But they're going to have to be able to provide a lot more and have all those video game aspects pump out more stuff and be able to give you the quality that you want and say, hey, since we've been working with them, look at the quality we're providing you here. Now, we're not giving you a ton, but you kind of see that you can trust us and more people will start working with us. And then we have the subscription war going on. As we knew that was being talked about, Phil Spencer actually talked about that. And I knew that was going to be coming too. I said it right here. Subscription cloud, data centers, computing, AI driven, goose chase, and PlayStation and Nintendo keeping alive that other model, which we still want. You never want that to die, trust me, because you will only be left with subs and renting things, and you're not going to own anything. Or be able to say, hey, I can put this in whatever I want, whether that subscription is there. Nintendo still allows you to do that. You know what I mean? That's one thing I love about my Switch. I can go right now and play whatever I want offline if it's a first-party game. It's actually a really nice perk to have. And you still can load your games in first-party for Nintendo. They keep that alive. They are very much so doing that. But I tell people anyways, are you not going to be online? How are you going to make your videos? You know what I mean? You're going to go online. So to me, I don't really see that being a huge problem unless somebody found a way to like also take over some data center and just keep it offline for a very long time. It's like, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I kind of think sometimes that's a bit ridiculous because it's like, when is it ever going to fully go offline? And do you think that if they put somebody in a Walking Dead post-apocalyptic, you're going to be sitting there in some room with your video games? Like, come on, man. No. So that's my thing when it comes to that. Like, I think the subscription stuff is only going to get bigger, but the thing is, it's going to be just like tech giants where you have this monopoly on the industry. But, you know, Netflix, like I said, at least they're capable of showing, of growing and showing you that we have quality. We didn't fail. You can't go on Netflix originals and say they're all trash. No, you're going to say, man, they're on fire. Like, all their originals were amazing. And they gave you so much diversity in there as well, too. So they're who I would want to get Warner Brothers over Paramount. Like I said, I don't trust the foreign entities in Paramount. I don't. They have different motives. Everybody knows this. And then there's people that, like Tencent, they came in with their $1 billion and then they backed down. You know what I mean? And it's like, why'd you back out? You know what I mean? So they have a different way of, you know, maybe wanting to be involved in it. Then you saw more of the Middle Eastern stuff coming in again. And then it's like, what do you guys want? You know what I mean? Just like, what did you want with EA? And then you promise these things, but that just reminds me of politics because I see what you guys are involved in, the oil and gas industry and all that stuff. Why do I trust those devils? I don't. Netflix is about just entertainment, you know what I mean? And, you know, they're in that world. Paramount, I don't know, man. If you're going to be like that, yeah, I don't trust you. So I would trust Netflix over them, but are both greedy in certain senses? I mean, that depends on the way you look at it. Like I said, you're paying a one subscription fee. That's it. There's nothing else involved. It's not like they have some hardware manufacturing that they're jacking the price up on and then jacking the price up on accessories, jacking the price up on like physical Blu-rays or something. You know what I mean? It's just one subscription and that's it. So I don't think this is nowhere near as terrible as other companies with way more money are doing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think about the future subscription wars happening? Do you think Netflix could be a big player in that game, in the video game industry? Or do you think other things will happen? It's just a different way of bringing up some different articles. I want to start posting more for you guys. As I said, now my business enterprise is getting set up tomorrow. So yeah, we're going to be having that cloud service, if you get what I mean. Yeah. Later, y'all. Peace out. You know how it is.